And on Senate has passed the bill for the repeal and reenactment of the Police Act. The bill seeks, among other issues, to improve cooperation between Nigerian police and communities for effective policing. Senate also adopted some amendments that seeks to provide severe punishment for a police officer found guilty of using excessive force on a person while carrying out his or her duties. While any person found guilty of assault or obstructing the police from carrying out its duties should pay a fine of not less than 500,000 naira or 2 years imprisonment or both. Senate has also passed 7 reintroduced bills, including Petroleum Industry Governance Bill 2019. In the meantime, Senate President Bukola Saraki has drawn the attention of parliaments globally to education as fundamental to achieving sustainable development for peace, security, and good governance. This was at the general debate of the Interparliamentary Union held in Doha, the capital of Qatar. National Assembly correspondent Abdullahi Aminu reports.
Convergence of the legislators from across the globe marks the 140th Assembly of the Interparliamentary Union. It was to find ways of ensuring adherence to UNESCO's recommended 15 to 20% budgetary funding for the education sector. Senate President Abubakar Bukola Saraki, represented by Senator Kabiru Ibrahim Gaya, says Nigeria's legislature remains guided by the fact that education is not a luxury.
It's when we have better educated youth that the danger of insecurity will be significantly reduced so that democracy can thrive, paving way for social economic progress.
The theme draws attention to education as one of the cardinal issues to consider for fundamental human right, which is central to the development of citizens.
We are, however, addressing the shortfalls, which combined strategies to enhance peace, security, and the rule of law.
As part of the effort by the Nigeria's legislature to ensuring that education is built on a solid foundation, the Senate made reference at the forum to the Universal Basic Education Commission Amendment Act, which guarantees free and compulsory education for all Nigerians up to secondary level, and Tertiary Education Trust Fund Act 2011 to include colleges of agriculture as beneficiaries of the fund. Abdullahi Aminu, NTA News.
Still on legislative matters, House of Representatives has again stressed the need for the federal government to do all it takes towards ensuring the release of the remaining Chibok girls being held captive by Boko Haram insurgents. The issue, taken under matters of urgent public importance, also sympathized with the parents of the abductees who have for the past 5 years have been waiting to be reunited with their daughters. A minute silence was observed in honor of those who died in captivity. In the meantime, the lawmakers have urged the federal government to direct the Ministry of Finance to, in accordance with provisions of the 2018 Appropriation Act, release all funds to arms and agencies of government that are on the first-line charge. Those on first-line charge are the National Assembly, the Judiciary, Independent National Electoral Commission, Universal Basic Education, and Niger Delta Development Commission, among others. Moving on, more Nigerians, irrespective of status, now patronize the Abuja-Kaduna rail line on account of safety concerns on the road between the two cities, resulting in the high volume of passengers and ticketing challenges. Mitaire Ipeng gives us a situation report at the Idu train station in Abuja.
The Abuja-Kaduna Railway is one of the visible forms of modern transportation infrastructure in the country today. For first-time passengers at the Idu train station, they get fascinated by its modern terminal.
This place is, it looks like like an average train station abroad. Very fine.
The train service, which operates 4 return trips daily, now appears not to be enough to cater for the huge traffic as seen here at the Idu terminus. Friday, Udo tells me that the swelling patronage might not be unconnected with security concerns.
I am traveling with my family, I have a car. But unfortunately, based on what is happening on the road between Abuja and Kidnap today, certainly I will not risk my life and that of my family. So I had to drop my car, then take a cab that brought us here.
According to some passengers, the rush to use the railway instigated some form of alleged ticket racketeering scheme.
Some persons will come, maybe I buy about 10 tickets. That's what people have been doing in the official rate, and then go and sell in the higher rate to the persons they want to.
Do you know, if you get to Kubwa now, what you're going to be seeing is standing tickets. How are they going to calculate those who are standing, how much they're paying? Even standing tickets, you can see standing ticket for like 3,000 naira. You know, yes, people pay standing ticket for 3,000 naira because when you get to that place, there's no more seats.
Purchasing a train ticket is now a big deal, as passengers stand in long winding queues in desperation for tickets they are not so sure of even getting.
We had to write names, number one. After writing names, you had to wait for the officials to call names one after the other. Then after that, before you purchase your ticket.
My name hasn't been called yet to go and pay for the ticket, even though I wrote my name a really long time ago.
I know they're trying to do this, trying to, curtail the ticket racketeering and all of that, but still, it's not going to help.
The physically challenged are left with no choice but to bear the brunt.
I've been waiting for almost more than 1 hour now, and some people told me that they have been waiting for more than 3 hours, 4 hours, which is not proper, it's not ideal.
If not for the security situation, it doesn't just worth it.
In the frustration, several passengers clamor for automated ticketing procedures.
Imagine a young man like me at my age coming to sit down for 3 hours, doing nothing, to just come get a ticket. And this is 2019, the world has gone way ahead. We can prefer solution to these things. You need to just get an online platform where people can plug in their details, people can buy their tickets, and with that way, you won't even see any queue, and it will be seamless.
They should go online, makes it easier.
Getting the Edo train station management to respond to issues raised was futile, as officials declined comments. Our crew, however, gathered that the watchful eyes of plainclothes security operatives recently deployed to train stations have somehow toned down the scenario of ticket racketeering.
Patronage of the Abuja-Kaduna train service is growing, and so also are the challenges. The passengers are calling on the railway authorities to come up with far-reaching solutions that will ameliorate the cumbersome nature of purchasing tickets for the train service so that it will be a pleasurable experience for them. From the Edo train station in Abuja, Mitaire Ikwen, NTA News.
Thank you, Mitaire. And meanwhile, the Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, has assured that provision of more coaches, trucks and locomotives will, in the long term, ameliorate the challenges being faced at the Abuja-Kaduna train route. He was speaking on NTA's flagship program, Good Morning Nigeria. Abdul Salam Jubril reports.
After prolonged neglect of the nation's railway, recent efforts by the government to revive and modernize the transport mode while yielding the desired results is not without challenges. Speaking on Good Morning Nigeria, Minister of Transport Rotimi Amechi expressed optimism that ongoing construction of railway infrastructure connecting various parts of the country and other steps being taken will curb the challenge of ticket racketeering at train stations.
Those of our staff that have been arrested, ordinarily, you would have said they will be dismissed, but they have to follow the procedure. So we allow them go through the procedure for punishing those who commit such crimes. Like I said that day when I was talking to the woman, I said the problem with the country is that people are not punished for committing crime. So it encourages people to be criminal-minded.
President of the Nigerian Society of Engineers sued for the utilization of Nigerian engineers in the rail transportation and development process, while the managing director of the Nigerian Railway Corporation urged Nigerians to desist from patronizing illegal ticket sellers at railway stations.
What I'm trying to say is that Nigerians should learn how to do the right thing. They should not encourage such practice.
We make sure that this system is sustainable, because when you do not domesticate a process or a facility in your country, it is not sustainable.
They agree that automation of the ticketing system will go a long way in solving some of the problems. In Abuja, Abdusalam Jubril, NTA News.
Let's now turn our attention to the judiciary, and Ruth is in Lagos. She has an update. Ruth, what's happening in Lagos in the judiciary?
Thank you, Nolene. A lot indeed is happening, and welcome to Lagos. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has rearranged the president of the Nigerian Bar Association, Paul Usoro, at the Federal High Court, Lagos, on a 10-count charge of 1.4 billion naira fraud before Justice Relwan Aikawa. Abolore Ogbara has details of the proceedings in court.
At the Federal High Court sitting in Lagos, the Prosecution Counsel, Rotimi Oyedepo, said Paul Usoro allegedly conspired with Akwa Ibom State Commissioner for Finance, Unsikan Unkan, and some others to commit the offense of money laundering to the tune of 1.4 billion naira. The Prosecution Counsel said that the unlawful business activity includes criminal breach of trust, which contravenes the provisions of sections 15, subsection 2, 15, subsection 3, and 18A of the Money Laundering Act of 2011. It would be recalled that the court admitted the defendant to bail in the sum of 250 million naira, with one surety in the like sum. The court also ordered that the defendant deposit his international passport with court registry. The defendant's application for release of his international passport to enable him travel whenever the need arises was also deliberated before the Justice Aikawa. Defense counsel Wole Olanipekun, SAN, pleaded that the defendant be granted freedom to travel outside the country on official matters based on self-recognition. Prosecution Counsel Rotimi Oyedepo told the judge that the NBA president, Paul Usoro, should notify the court and commission of the purpose of foreign trips before facilitating the process. After listening to respective submissions of both counsels, Justice Aikawa approved that the defendant notifies the court and the EFCC before embarking on international trips in order to facilitate the process. Justice Relwan Aikawa adjourned the case to 10th of May this year in Lagos. Abolore Ogbara, NT News.
The federal government reformatory agenda for inmates of the Nigerian prisons is changing the perception of life of the beneficiaries. Some inmates of the Kirikiri Maximum Prison, Lagos, who specialized in bakery, attest to the impactful experience of the program during their graduation ceremony. Mohammed Abdul Kadri reports.
One of the 14-month graduates, 33 years old Muyiwa Adeyeye, has been in the prison's custody for 9 years. He was on awaiting trial list for 6 years for armed robbery charges and 3 years on death row. As a beneficiary of the public-private partnership in innovative local bakery training, Adeyeye has become a skilled inmate.
I never felt this kind of opportunity might come while in this kind of situation we have.
Adeyeye is not alone in the euphoria of prospecting to be a master baker. Testimonies by his colleagues captured the essence of the training.
They did not just teach us, they mentored us and impacted life, wisdom, and so much more.
With this development, prison is undoubtedly now a citadel of reformation and not condemnation.
They have been empowered, meaning that by the time they leave here into the outside world, they can stand on their own. They have learned one thing now, that they can be independent. They don't need to be dependent on anybody, either their parents or the government.
As long as we have this as something to do after this experience, you have a life to live after now.
This is started the initiative just to make sure that after this life, after Kirikiri, and to keep you engaged even while you are here.
The tripartite co-sponsored training, which is expected to be reviewed for sustainability, is aimed at spreading the opportunity to other inmates. In Lagos, Muhammad Abdelkader, NTA News.
Nigeria Customs Service Federal Operations Unit Zone A, Lagos, has intercepted 113 exotic vehicles, drugs, and other items with a duty-paid value of 2 billion naira. The controller, Aliyu Mohammed, says the seizures were made within Lagos and Shagamu, Ogun State. Paul Omukagu has details.
These are the drugs seized by customs at Maitu, Lagos, and the border areas between Ogun and Oyo states in Chagamu. There are 600 cartons of codeine syrup, 398 cartons of diclofenac, 1,056 cartons of chest and lung tablets, 1,000 sachets of tramadol, and 49 cartons of paracetamol. Concerned about the rate these drugs are imported into the country, Comptroller Aliyu Mohammed says the service, in collaboration with other security agencies, is working hard to stem the tide of illegal importation of drugs, some of which are controlled.
Anything that is coming to the country from the border illegally without NABDA number, it cannot be a good drugs. There's procedures you do for the seizure. When you seize, you have to send for condemnation. Because when you condemn, it's not a government property. Then they will gazette it. Then it's left for government to do what they are supposed to do with it. They may decide to destroy it.
The controller also expressed concern over the importation of vehicles through the land borders, most of which, he explained, have dangerous items concealed in them. 13,810 bags of rice, vegetable oil, and fairly used tires were the other seizures. In Lagos, Paul Omukagu, NTA News.
That's our contribution from Lagos. It's back to Abuja for the continuation of Nationwide.
Thank you so much, Ruth. About 5,000 internally displaced persons have received succor courtesy the Future Assured program of the wife of the president, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, in Zamfara State. State House correspondent Aliu Kabir reports that the gesture is to cushion the effect of their hardship.
Over 500 villages are affected by the activities of armed bandits in Zamfara State, with over 500 persons killed, 338 kidnapped, while several others injured, in addition to the destruction of property worth millions of naira since 2015 to date, as explained by the Executive Secretary, Zamfara State Emergency Management Agency, Sanusi Kotokoshi.
Presently, we have in our record over 37,000 IDPs.
The Future Assured program of the wife of the President, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, is therefore supportive of the effort of the government and other stakeholders in restoring hope to the victims who are currently taking refuge at various IDP camps in the state. This is the second time Future Assured program is providing relief materials to the victims, who are mostly women and children, particularly those affected by the recent attacks in different communities in the state, comprising Mashema in Zurumi local government area, Magamin Jabi in Maradun, Mada in Gusau, and Enkuzo in Safe local government areas of the state. While promising not to relent in supporting the victims, the wife of the president, represented by the Future Assured Administrative Liaison Officer Fatima Rafindadi, is optimistic that the current effort of the government will no doubt restore normalcy in the area.
It is imperative for me to ask you to remain calm and steadfast in prayers as you continue to cooperate with all relevant authorities to restore normalcy.
With over 5,000 assorted packs distributed to the victims, comprising food items such as sugar, milk, noodles and wrappers, as well as other essential commodities, the Secretary to the Zamfara State Government, Professor Abdullahi Mohammed, expressed happiness with the gesture and assured the wife of the president of making the best use of the materials.
Once again, ma'am, please extend our appreciation and gratitude to Her Excellency.
The beneficiaries could not hide their happiness with the hope of returning to their original communities soon. In Gusau, Zamfara State, Aliu Kabir, NTA News.
The Nigerian Air Force has secured some villages in Gusau, Zamfara State. NAF Director, Public Relations and Information, Air Commodore Ibikunle Daramola, in a statement says this was accomplished in response to reports that high-profile armed bandits were gathering around Rafi and Doka villages of Mada district of the state, which is under the protection of a NAF Special Forces team, the 207 Quick Response Group. The team was therefore dispatched to the area on 16th April 2019 to secure the two settlements and thwart the bandits' plans. 2 bandits were neutralized in the process, while others fled with gunshot wounds. Since then, the Special Forces team has been conducting aggressive patrols in the area, especially the fringes of the forest, to forestall any reprisal attack. The NAF says it will sustain the operations along with sister services and other security agencies to flush the bandits out of the northwest of the country. Still staying with security, in view of emerging security challenges across the country and the increase in Nigerian Army's internal security operations, the formations deserve improved funding to effectively tackle these threats to socio-economic development. Edo State Acting Governor Philip Shaibu said this while receiving the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, on working visit to Edo, and Delta State's defense correspondent Ismail Musa has details.
Edo in south-south Nigeria has abundant fertile land that support the surrounding thick forest. The natural resources in mostly ungoverned space provides means of livelihood to many and cover to criminals. The intensity of the emerging threat requires intensified action, hence the deployment of troops to strategic locations in the state.
We have been faced with different militancy, breaking of pipe, S-men, kidnapping. People now ask us to send army to them. But we try to let them know that army really is not their duty to come into the city and be doing police work. But because of the confidence Nigerian people have in the army, so they don't know the difference. They just want the army to come because they know if the army comes, their security is guaranteed.
Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai is here to appraise troops' welfare and operations.
So basically, this is why I'm here, to look at the general administration and the operational capabilities within the South-South region.
The Army Chief was at the Palace of Oba of Benin to seek the traditional institution support in the quest to secure the area. Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai stressed that the Nigerian Army will continue to collaborate with other security agencies to secure lives and property across the country. From Asaba Delta State, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Away from security, what could have led to a national embarrassment at the Accountant General of the Federation's office in Abuja was averted through dialogue as a section of the Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria barricaded the entrance to the Treasury House. Emmanuel Aimeru was there.
We just wake up in the morning and find our gates closed on matters that have not been presented officially. But a resolution has been reached, and I appreciate the intervention of the national leadership. They have shown that, yes, they have capacity to talk to their local unions and to do the right thing. I've never had issues, welfare issues in this office. The contentious issues or areas are that maybe what is being done is not enough, but we need to see them officially.
As a responsible national body, we had to come and intervene, and we've met the Accountant General of the Federation. We've had useful discussions, and I want to assure you that we've resolved the issues, and peace has come back to reign in the office.
From all indication, peace has since returned to the Treasury House after the intervention of the national body of the Union. Our staff and visitors are moving freely without any harassment.
The Office of the Accountant General of the Federation ensures that proper system of account exists in every department of the nation's treasury. Emmanuel Ayemiru, NTA News.
Ibadan Network Center is where we go next, and here is Kemi with all the latest from that zone. Hello, Kemi.
And welcome to Ibadan. Key players in the peaceful conduct of the 2019 general elections have been urged to sustain their efforts in ensuring post-election peace and effective social development. This was the view of speakers at the National Orientation Agency's sensitization program to curb post-election violence. The sensitization program with the theme Building a People of Peace, which was at the instance of NOA Director General Garba Abari, was organized to further entrench the culture of peace, discipline, and patriotism for a stable society and effective development.
During the election, people must have wronged themselves, one way or the other. So we are now bringing everybody together to preach peace, to see that Nigerian state is the project of everyone.
Speakers at the event were unanimous in the view that post-election peace is largely dependent on the level of awareness of the citizenry, effectiveness of relevant agencies, as well as willingness of politicians to play by the rules and ventilate grievances through the right channels.
If you have issues with the result, with the announcement, with anything, go to the tribunal. Where there is no unity, people are banned not to trust themselves.
Form of advocacy whereby we educate the masses of our people to respect the rights of another person.
Participants agreed that building a people of peace is highly dependent on the people themselves. First quarter revenue collection by the Oyo-Osun Command of the Nigeria Custom stands at 101.4 billion naira, in addition to seizure of goods worth over 105 million naira, as well as arrest of 8 suspects. Comptroller of the Oyo-Osun Command, Abdullahi Hizo Kifulu, disclosed this during the first quarter briefing of the command. Adebola Ogulano was there. And now reports.
On the seizure, imported bags of rice, kegs of vegetable oils, bales of used clothes, impounded vehicles, motorcycles, among others, of the total duty paid value of over 100 million naira. The Comptroller, Nigerian Customs Service, or Oyo-Osun Command, disclosed that the command generated a total revenue of 13,397,441,374 naira and 71 kobo from excise duties in the first quarter of 2019.
About 8 suspects granted bail and waiting for administrative bail, waiting for prosecution. We are also able to convict one person has been sentenced to prison for 3 years imprisonment for impersonating custom officers.
He used the occasion to appreciate other security agencies for their support in actualizing their achievements in Ibadan. Adebola Ogulano, NTA News.
Orientation for National Youth Corps members beyond integration is geared towards patriotism and service, stronger and united nation. Oyo State Governor Abiola Ajimobi stated these while declaring close the 3 weeks orientation program of 2019 Batch A Corps members at the Oyo State NYSC Orientation Camp in Iseyin Town. Larry Belay has the reports.
The belief is that this batch of corps members have acquired all the requisite skills required to perform optimally wherever they found themselves during the service year in Oyo State. And this terminal parade signifies the end of the 3-week orientation program. Stakeholders in Oyo State, in their goodwill messages, urge the corps members to be vanguards of positive change in their primary assignment.
We employ our corps members to be dedicated and focus themselves to this opportunity, because it's an opportunity for them to learn and prepare themselves for the future.
To work well and to
remember what they were taught in camp. They should be good ambassadors of the scheme and their families.
There's no doubt hundreds of thousands of Nigerian youth have passed through this scheme. In fact, it's one of the hurdles they must scale through before they can open the next chapter of their lives. And one beautiful thing about this scheme is that for every core member is a unique and unforgettable experience. For 2019 Batch A's core members, their bags are packed and they are ready to serve their fatherland. From the NYSC Orientation Camp in Iseyin Town, Larry Beleyi, NTA News.
Thank you, Larry, and that's it from Ibadan. The nationwide continues in Abuja.
Thank you so much, Kemi. Public-private partnership is an alternative form of financing used by countries for the design, construction, rehabilitation, maintenance and operation of infrastructure for the purpose of providing public service. This is why the ECOWAS Parliament Joint Committee on Finance, Trade, Customs and Free Movement in Accra, Ghana, is considering possible ways of making the initiative better for countries within the sub-region. Joseph Orok reports.
Funding of infrastructural and developmental projects for enhanced socio-economic growth of any society is no doubt a common challenge with any society, including ECOWAS member countries. To find a way out of these challenges is why the ECOWAS Parliament is seeking the knowledge, experiences of experts and stakeholders to brainstorm on the way forward. Speaker of ECOWAS Parliament, Mustafa Sisilo, says the meeting is to enable the Parliament to know relevant legislative approach to advance the course of public-private partnership agreements in funding projects.
We are going to discuss funding for investment through public-private partnership. This type of partnership, which has been adopted in member states to build infrastructure, is arousing interest because it will help to fill the funding gap in the member countries. And
we are aware of the commitment of ECOWAS to the implementation of multimodal transport infrastructure and policies to promote fiscal cohesion among member states and to facilitate the movement of people, goods and services within the community.
The government of Ghana is of the firm belief that the prosperity of the country is hinged on creating the necessary enabling environment for the private sector to thrive.
Public-private partnership, if properly adopted and implemented, members of parliaments and stakeholders agree, will be of immense benefits to the region as alternative source of project funding as against relying on the support of the developed countries and the banks. Public-private partnership in funding projects started in 1992 in United Kingdom and was first introduced in Nigeria in 2005.
Still on ECOWAS, Nigeria has joined other ECOWAS member countries in operating a unified biometric capture identity card to replace the current ECOWAS travel certificate. Chimobi Walter Naji was at the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding.
In January 2016, ECOWAS countries signed an agreement to roll out biometric identity cards across the entire region to give room for deeper integration and reduce trans-border crimes. Nigeria is joining Ghana and other West African countries to start the production of these biometric identity cards for each citizen through the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding between the Federal Ministry of Interior, the Nigerian Immigration Service and a private company, the Euphoria Group of Companies, as a public-private partnership arrangement. The biometric card is expected to, among other things, help manage migration across the sub-region and help transport security in tracking movement of people.
And their total commitment to achieving the free movement of persons and goods, establishing a common market, consolidating peace, security and good governance, as well as greater efficiencies in the operations of community institutions through the implementation of adequate reforms.
The project, though, to be financed by a PPP arrangement will help in the growth of the economy, as well to help in providing employment opportunities for Nigeria.
The project will be successful because this project is not today. Today, I think it's about 3 years we have been working on this project, and we are following all the due process that you follow to do any PPP worldwide, not even in Nigeria.
The biometric card, when fully operational, will assist the Interpol identify persons involved in cross-border criminal activities within the region. In Abuja, Chimobi Walter Naji, NTA News.
There are hopes that Nigerians may soon have access to affordable housing with the federal government's ongoing efforts towards tackling the incessant funding obstacles impeding the full actualization of housing projects. Joseph Johnson reports that this was the Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola's assurance during the presentation of annual report by the Federal Housing Authority board members.
Apart from highlighting the efforts made by the board in the first year, this meeting stems from the need to seek new strategies in providing affordable houses to Nigerians. The annual report presented to the minister recommends steps which the board of directors believe will aid achieve the tasks ahead.
The board has therefore seized the prevailing opportunity to begin to help this important government agency towards retracing its steps and focus towards not only providing housing, but also to adjust the housing and construction industry in contributing to the development of a robust national economy through jobs creation, extractive industry related to building materials and the housing value chain.
I hope that FHA will rise to the challenge. We will continue to complement that what we are doing in administration.
The board members pride themselves for being the first to prepare and submit an annual report to its supervising ministry. Joseph Johnson, NTA News.
Let's now take some messages. Nationwide continues shortly. Please stay with us.
A new edition of TV Guide is out, with special focus on the role of the media in election coverage. Exclusive on the National Broadcasting Commission, its mandate as the sole regulator of Nigerian media. Dr. Toba Daba Ben and Ishak Modibo Kawu. Now, this edition also features the king of stand-up comedy in Nigeria, Ali Baba. NTA standards to get ready for election transmission after decades of abandonment. Find out from the DG transactional elections in our political space. An evil wind that blows no good. DG, National Orientation Agency, calls on TV Guide, your indispensable companion, x-rays the impact of social media on electioneering process as electorates present their expectations from incoming government. Meet some TV professionals behind the screen and other inspiring stories in sports, entertainment, and lots more. Grab a copy at the vendor near you or NTA stations nationwide. TV Guide, your indispensable companion.
These days, people get their news and information from more media sources than ever before. Some of the news and information given are fake, unverified, doctored, and manufactured to create confusion, stir disaffection, and cause disunity. Before you believe or share any news, ask yourself, is this real? Is it from a credible source? Is it verified or verifiable? Fake news is dangerous, whether you do it for fun or for political gains. Real people can get hurt. Fake news, don't create it, don't spread it.
This is a public service announcement from NTA. When you hear that sound, you know that Nigeria's most authentic newscast is about to begin. NTA Network News, breaking the news for over 40 years.
Thank you for rejoining us on Nationwide. Kidnapper meets his wits' end as Operation Ban Mamaki apprehends him. Abdullahi in our Kaduna Network Center will tell us more. Abdullahi?
Thanks for joining us in Kaduna. Personnel of the Operation Ban Mamaki of the Nigerian Air Force have arrested a suspected kidnapper and rescued one victim at Riwa Forest of Kaduna State. Ibrahim Bellogunde reports that the suspect has been handed over to the State Police Command.
Idris Abubakar started his routine chaos normally on that fateful day without any premonition of bad luck trailing his track. However, while at his construction site in Regachukun at the outskirts of Kaduna town, a gang of 5 kidnappers ambushed him and took him to unknown forest. 100 million naira ransom was the noose hanging on his neck, but as the day went by and the ransom not forthcoming, his abductors assaulted him heavily to the extent of breaking his arm.
So they tied me, they tied my eyes, they beat me mercilessly, all of them. It was only God that saved me before they even allowed me to talk to my family. And they needed 100 million from me. And I told them I couldn't have. And they told me that if anything less than 20 million, they will kill me.
The suspected kidnapper, a father of 4, Abubakar Suleiman, said they got information about their victim from one of his workers at the construction site.
It is true, I am a kidnapper. I have never been arrested, and this is my 3rd time of kidnapping.
3 days into the abduction, the Nigerian Air Force Special Operation Team codenamed Operation Bade Mamaki came to his rescue.
This was achieved when the team, while responding to a distress call, stormed the kidnappers' hideout at Riawa Forest. The victim was immediately evacuated to 461 Nigerian Air Force Hospital here in Kaduna for medical attention.
It may be recalled that in February, the 453-based service group of the Nigerian Air Force Kaduna also handed over suspected bandits and recovered livestock to the Kaduna State Police Command. In Kaduna, Ibrahim Bello Gunda, NTA News.
And moving on to Kano now, where rice farmers are leveraging on the federal government policy on agriculture to expand the production of homegrown rice for domestic consumption and export with a view to stimulating the nation's economy. Mohammed Rabiu Ali reports that they are also determined to halt illegal importation of rice through massive production of quality rice with requisite to post-production value additions. His report.
Various strategies have been adopted to improve rice farming as part of effort to enhance food security in the country. It is expected that 1.5 million tons of rice will be produced through the establishment of more rice farms. To achieve this, 35,000 farmers have been trained on modern rice farming.
What it really means is, sir, that we are going to touch 80,000 more farmers across the country, 80,000 more farmers. We are going to create 1,500 more jobs. We are going to save forex going out of this country.
Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Chief Audu Obey, said federal government is concerned over the activities of smugglers who import rice through illegal means. This, he said, remained major impediment to the nation's quest for self-determination in food security.
It's a known fact that we have seen a lot of interventions by the government which incentivize investment in this sector. Some of these programs targeted the small-scale farmers, especially the Anko Borowa scheme, which started with rice, now expanding to cotton, tomato, maize, and other agricultural commodities.
Other speakers commended the resilience of farmers in confronting the challenges militating against homegrown rice production. They described various incentives introduced by the federal government as critical to the realization of set goals. Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
Thank you, Muhammad Rabiu Ali from Kano. It's back to Abuja, where Nationwide continues.
Thank you, Abdullahi. And now to health news. Minister of Health, Dr. Isaac Adewole, has disclosed that the federal government is putting up measures to establish sustainable cardiothoracic centers in the country. He stated this in a message at the opening ceremony of the second annual general meeting and scientific conference of Association of Cardiovascular and Thoracic Surgeons of Nigeria, ATSUN. Blessing Amfulani reports.
This conference is aimed at making cardiothoracic treatment and surgery more accessible and affordable to all Nigerians. Minister of Health, Dr. Isaac Adewole, in a message delivered by Dr. Joseph Amedu, Director, Hospital Services, Ministry of Health, says federal government is committed to building sustainable cardiothoracic centers across the country.
The federal government is putting in place strategies to ensure that all cases of cardiac diseases are taken care of. I think it's long overdue for Nigerians to have a vibrant cardiothoracic centers.
With the achievements recorded by the association, participants believe that Nigeria will soon be one of the medical tourist attraction countries in the world.
Coming together, we can look at innovative ways of bringing the cost of surgery.
It is high time we organize ourselves to make sure that this practice is done routinely at home.
Everybody needs to come on board to help to make sure that these centers are not only created, but they develop.
A forum afforded upcoming surgeons opportunity to be trained more in cardiovascular and thoracic surgery. The theme for this year's conference is Sustainable Cardiovascular Surgery in Nigeria, learning from the experience of regional centers. Blessing Namfulani, NTA News.
And still to come on Nationwide is sports. Stay with us.
Marketing of broadcast media products requires special skills which can only be acquired through training and experience. NTA TV College Jos is therefore organizing an intensive 3-week course on modern trends in broadcast media marketing. The course will equip participants with necessary skills to deal with contemporary marketing challenges and competition in the broadcast media. It is an essential course for marketers in the broadcast media to sharpen their skills and improve their capacities. Date 23rd April to 10th May 2019. Venue, NTA Television College, Refuge, Jos. Cost fee, 100,000 naira per participant, accommodation inclusive. For more inquiries, please contact us on 0803 314-4383 or 0806 980 9807. NTA TV College, Jos, training you to be the best you want to be.
You can follow us on all our social media platforms: Facebook at NTA Network News, Instagram at NTA Network, Twitter at NTA News Now, YouTube at NTA News Online, or visit www.nta.ng. For live streaming, visit www.nta.ng/live. Now, you can stay updated on the go, be it on your TV, iPhone, laptop, or iPad, or download the NTA mobile application from your Play Store or App Store. NTA, you can beat the rich.
Amanzi Marcus has an update on sports news.